Okay, welcome to our class. Today we are going to study about thyroid gland. So before going to thyroid gland, first we should know what we are going to study. Let's start. So in this chapter we are going to deal with thyroid gland, that is the position of thyroid gland, the structure of thyroid gland, and the function of thyroid gland. And simultaneously we'll also study about what are the hormones synthesized by the thyroid gland and the regulation of thyroid gland and also the disorder of thyroid gland. Got it? So let's start. So before going to the structure, we should know that this thyroid gland is the largest endocrine gland. Is the largest endocrine gland. Got it? So first thing, it is the largest endocrine gland. And next, we know that it is the gland present. It is the gland present. It is the gland present between trachea and larynx. Matlab, it is present between larynx and trachea. Got it? Suppose this is the larynx part. For example, this is the larynx part. And for example, this is the trachea part. This is the windpipe or this is the trachea part. Got it? So these are the bronchi present. So this is the trachea part. So normally this larynx, this endocrine gland is present between the larynx and trachea. So it is present between larynx and trachea. So this is the thyroid gland. So got it? This is the thyroid gland. And this thyroid gland is present. The upper part is called as the larynx. And this one is called as the trachea. This is called as the trachea. So it is present between larynx and trachea. Got it? And how it is present? It is present, it is attached lateroventral arrangement. Lateroventral arrangement. Got it? So it is arranged lateroventral. Laterally it is present, as well it is ventrally is present of this larynx and trachea. And also this gland, it is H-shaped gland. It is sometimes called as it is a H-shaped gland. It is a H-shaped gland. And this gland is made up of connective tissue. It is made up of connective tissue. So this gland is made up of connective tissue, and also this is endodermal in origin. Endodermal in origin. Got it? So normally this gland is endodermal in origin and it is present in this part. That is present between the larynx and trachea and lateroventral side. Got it? It is present in lateroventral side and it is a bilobed. I'll discuss later about its structure. So this is the position. So what is if the position comes? So we have discussed about the position. Got it? Now, okay. Now discuss about the structure of this thyroid gland. So the thyroid gland, this thyroid gland is a bilobed structure. It is a bilobed structure. Means two lobes are present. Got it? So two lobes are present, and these lobes are also made up of connective tissue. And both the lobes are joined by connective tissue called isthmus. And this isthmus is the part which is non-glandular. It is non-glandular, means it never releases any hormones. So it is a non-glandular part. Got it? And the weight of thyroid gland, is about 25 to 35 gram. But sometimes in female, the weight increases. Got it? But in birds and all mammals, and in mammals, the gland is bilobed. Whereas in reptiles it is unilobed. So this thyroid gland, okay, I'll draw the structure and explain it. First, let us know the thyroid gland is a bilobed structure. It is a two-lobe structure. Both the lobes are joined by connective tissues called isthmus, and the isthmus part is a non-glandular part. And the weight of thyroid gland is approximately 25 to 35 gram. And in female, it is increases weight little increased. In birds and mammals, it is bilobed, whereas in reptiles, it is called as what? It is okay. Let's go for the structure. So as it is a bilobe, so this gland is a bilobed structure, the H-shaped like structure, and it is externally covered by a connective tissue. It is externally covered by a connective tissue covering. It is covering present outside, and this covering is also made of fibrous connective tissue, and this covering is called as the capsule. So this covering is called as the capsule. We know this is called as the capsule. And this middle part, the joining part, this middle part is called as the isthmus. It is called as the isthmus, and these are the lobes present. This is one lobe present, and this is other lobe present. Got it? So inside the lobe, we find there are small lobules like structure present. So inside the lobes, we find this division like structures present, and inside it we find certain cells are present. We'll discuss later. So inside the lobes, we find what that is called as the follicular cells. The follicular cells are present, and also we find inside the stroma is present. We'll discuss now. And also we find some blood vessels are also found to be present. The blood vessels are also present inside the lobes. So when we go to the anatomy of this particular structure, let's see what the anatomy of the structure is. So this total structure is called as what? It is a bilobed structure. And this bilobe structure is normally made up of connective. Each lobe is made up of connective tissue. So this is a one lobe, and then the one is another lobe, and all the lobes are also made up of that is called as the connective tissue. So this is what we learn from the structure. Got it? Okay, let's go to the internal structure. Let's go to the internal structure. Okay, so now we're going to study about the internal structure. So suppose I have taken a small part of the thyroid gland. So inside the thyroid gland, we find this spherical type of cells are found to be present. This type of cells are present. Got it? This type of cells are found to be present. And some cells are also present outside here. Some cells are also present here outside. And within that, we find the blood vessels also present. And within that, we find the blood vessels also present. The blood vessels are also present. Got it? And inside each, these follicular cells are present. Inside, we find the stroma are found to be present. Got it? So let's, so this particular part, these are the follicular cells present. These are the follicular cells found. And this red color structure, these are the blood vessels present. These are the blood vessels present. These are the blood vessels present. And outside, we find the fluid present that is called as the stroma. Outside, we find the fluid present that is called as stroma. And in the stroma, we find other type of cells present that is called as parafollicular cells. Parafollicular cells, or we do call them as C cells. And within this follicular cells, within the follicular cells, we find this colloids are present. What are colloids? I'll discuss later. Okay, we find colloids are present. So this is the anatomical structure of thyroid gland, where we find the spherical follicular cells are present, and these follicular cells are arranged in the stroma part. The fluid part is called as the stroma, and within the follicular cells we find the colloids are present. What are the colloids? I'll discuss later. Don't worry. And also we find the blood vessels present, and special type of cells are present that is called as the parafollicular cells. So now let's move detail into the structure. Okay, so this is the anatomical structure. Suppose this is the blood vessel substance. How they are arranged? Let magnify it. Suppose this is the blood vessels. Got it? These are the blood vessels present. So this part, I am magnifying this part. Blood vessels are present. And near to the blood vessels, we find these follicular cells are present. They are present like this. They are present like this. Got it? So these cells, they are present like this. So these are the cells present. So this is the actual anatomical structure of this particular thyroid gland. So we find inside this, we find the colloids are present. And these colloids are special type of proteins that is called as the glycoproteins are present, that are the globulins are present. We'll discuss later. So these are the colloids. And the colloids are present type of protein that is called as the glycoprotein. It is a type of glycoprotein. Got it? So it's a type of glycoprotein. And this glycoprotein, we do call them as what? Thyroglobulin protein. It is called as thyroglobulin protein. And these are the cells present, and these cells are called as the follicular cells. These cells are called as the follicular cells. So outside we find what? Outside we find the stroma present. This outside we find the stroma. So this is how the cells are arranged. So when we are going to discuss about the anatomy, we'll just discuss about these blood vessels and what is happening between the blood vessels and these follicular cells. So later when we discuss the anatomy, this is the blood vessels and these are the follicular cells. So whatever iodine we take and what are the mechanism, and here we'll find the hormones will be produced, and what all the hormones will be produced will then move back to the blood vessels, and these blood vessels will transport the hormones to different parts of the body. So we'll discuss this all about this in the mechanism part. So got it? So here this is the blood vessels present, and near to the blood vessels we find this type of follicular cells are present, and inside it we find the colloids are present, and outside these are the stroma present. I'll discuss later. Parafollicular cells we'll discuss later. Got it? So this extraconal, this type of structure, pyramid shaped structures are present. These are the special follicular cells are present, and inside we find a special type of protein that is called as glycoproteins, and these glycoproteins are called as thyroglobulin proteins. We'll discuss later. Got it? And these are present in colloidal state. How it is present colloidal, discuss in the mechanism part. Got it? So this is about the detailed anatomical structure of thyroid gland. Okay. In the next part, we'll study about its mechanism. So how the hormones are produced, where the hormones are produced, how it is being transported, and what are the mechanism, and what types of hormones are being produced. We'll discuss in the next part. Okay. Okay. Now let's discuss about the mechanism. So we are going to discuss about the mechanism. Let's see. For example, this is the blood vessels. Got it? This is the blood vessels. This is the blood vessels present. And these are the follicular cells. These are the follicular cells. These are the follicular cells. And is the nucleus. It is the nucleus. And inside you find the colloids are present. These are the colloids present. Let's go for the mechanism. Suppose we are taking in the digestive system, for example. So this is the digestive system present. So in the digestive system we are taking iodine, and this iodine is again brought to the circulatory system, and from the circulatory system the iodine moves into the blood. So whatever iodine we takes, that is, it is a negative form, that is called as iodide form, and about 20% of the iodine, 20% of iodine is taken by these follicular cells, and the rest 80% is removed out from the body through urine. Got it? So whatever iodine we take in our diet, so 20% is being absorbed, and the rest 80% is being removed out. This is the main absorption part of the iodine by the follicular cells. Now let's see how it get absorbed. So normally what happens in this particular area, here we find at the membrane area, we find the transporters are present, or iodine pumps are present. Special pumps are present in the membrane. This area, in the basal area near to the, we find special pumps are present, and these pumps present, these are called as iodide pump. This is called as iodide pump. We can call them as iodide pump. And these pumps are normally what? Now they are the symporters. They are the symporters. They are the symporter pumps. And basically they are sodium pumps. Got it? So basically these are the sodium pumps present, or iodine pump present. They are symporter. What does symporter means? Means both iodine as well as sodium are taken in. So normally sodium helps in taking iodine from the blood vessels into the follicular cells. This is the main motor of this pump. And this symporter, so as the pump what is used, so it is definitely it is active process. So this is a active process. So we are discussing as it is an active process. So now what happens? Through this pump, the sodiums are taken in as well as the iodines are taken in. So likewise, many iodines will be taken through like this. So these iodines are taken inside the follicular cytoplasm, inside the follicular cells through these symporter pumps. So these symporter pumps, with the help of sodium by active process, they influx the iodine. Now what happens? These iodide, they move. These iodide, they move. Negatively charged. So here what happens? At the inner part, we find a special transporter present, and this transporter is called as pendrin. This transporter is called as pendrin. Got it? And these iodine, with the help of pendrin, they moves into the colloidal area. Got it? So with the help of pendrin, this iodine moves into the colloidal area. Now the iodide with the help of pendrin, they moves in the colloidal area. This is the first process. Now let's move. Normally what happens, as we know, this is the nucleus. This is the nucleus. And with the help of this gene expression, the nucleus, the DNA will release the mRNA. And this mRNA will move to the ribosomes. And the ribosomes will produce proteins. And the ribosomes start producing proteins. Got it? So these proteins are present in a chain-like manner. And these proteins are present in a chain-like manner. And this chain of proteins is called as thyroglobulin. Got it? So with the help of the nucleus, in the cell of the cytoplasm, cell of the follicular cells, with the help of this nucleus gene expression, a polypeptide chain protein is produced, and this polypeptide chain protein is called as thyroglobulin. And normally what happens, in this thyroglobulin, we find special amino acids are present. And these special amino acids present are of tyrosine. Suppose in between them, some special maximum amount of this type of amino acids are present, and this type of amino acids are called as tyrosine. Got it? These are called tyrosine. Got it? Clear? So what happened? Now normally 20% of iodide is influx into the cytoplasm of the follicular cells, and from the follicular cells, these move into the colloid area with the help of the pump present called as pendrin, and this pendrin transport all this into the colloidal area. And simultaneously what happened, with the help of the nucleus and the help of the gene expression, the polypeptide chains are produced, proteins are produced, that is called as the chain-like structure, that is called as thyroglobulin, and this thyroglobulin contains maximum amount of amino acids, that is called as tyrosine. Got it clear till this is the mechanism. Now this thyroglobulin chain, now they moves into the cell. Got it? So inside what we find? We find the chain present. Suppose this is the chain present, and we find these are the amino acid, different types of amino acid present, and this is the colloidal chains and the globular chains present. Got it clear? Now what happens, in between them we find maximum amount of tyrosine protein. In these chains we find maximum amount of tyrosine proteins are present. For example, so we find maximum amount of these green colors. Let's talk, this is a tyrosine amino acid. These green colors are called as tyrosine amino acid. Now what happens, these iodide are present in the colloidal area, yes, and also this iodine are present. So when the iodine moves, when the iodide, when it moves with the help of pendrin into the colloidal area, it converts into iodine form with the help of an enzyme present at this particular area called as peroxidase. This enzyme is called as what? The peroxidase. So we find a special enzyme is present, I'm drawing here, and this special enzyme is called as what? Thyroperoxidase. It is called as peroxidase. Got it? So normally this peroxidase, what does this peroxidase do? So normally this peroxidase, the first role of this peroxidase, let's talk. The first role of the peroxidase is, that is oxidation. It first helps in the process of, that is called as oxidation. That means it converts iodide into iodine form. The first process is a peroxidase, that is it helps in oxidation. So got it? So here what happens, we got oxidation takes place, oxidation of iodine takes place, and all the iodine that are present in the colloidal area, they get converted into iodide, iodines. Got it? So all iodines are converted into iodide. First point. Second function of this peroxidase is a very important function. Second function of peroxidase is that addition of iodine with the thyroglobulin. That is called as organifications. So whatever the iodines are present, these iodines are later added with the thyroglobulin molecules. They're added with the thyroglobulin molecule. This is the second function of peroxidase. The first function of peroxidase is oxidation, and the second function of peroxidase, that is called as what? That is, let's move to the second function. The second function of peroxidase, thyroperoxidase enzyme, is what? That is organification. So whatever organification, now all the iodines are added to the tyrosine. Got it? So if one tyrosine present and one tyrosine and one iodine is attached, so this is called as monoiodothyronine. If suppose one tyrosine present and two iodines are attached, then it is called as what? Diiodothyronine. So like this organification takes place by this particular enzyme that is called as peroxidase, and this is called as what? Now that is monoiodothyronine. This is called as monoiodothyronine, and this is called as diiodo, that is called as thyronine. Got it? So this is how organification takes place by the enzyme with the second function. Got it? So after organification, then what happened? This is the first function. The first function is over. That is called as, the first function is called as the oxidation, and this is the second function over, that is called as organification. So that is attachment of iodine with amino acid, that is called as tyrosines. Now the third function is that, I'll separate one of the amino acid. Suppose this is the amino acid present and this is another amino acid present. Got it? So the third function is that, suppose this amino acid contains 1 iodine and this amino acid contains 2 iodine. So this is DID and this is MIT. So now the third function is that this enzyme helps in coupling both the amino acid. It helps in attaching or uniting both this amino acid. So when both the amino acids are joined, when both the amino acid with the iodines are joined, or when both the thyronines are joined, then it forms what? T3. This is called as the T3 hormone. Simultaneously, if both DI, T are joined, then T4. And this third mechanism is called as coupling nature. The third one is called as, we have completed the second one, and then the third function. The third function is coupling. Coupling means what? MIT plus DIT equals to T3 and DIT plus DIT equals to T4. Got it? So this T3 is a hormone that is called as triiodothyronine, and T4 is also a hormone that is called as tetraiodothyronine. So these both are thyroid hormones. Got it? So this nature is called as coupling nature, means attachment or binding both mono with di, or both di are attached to produce two different types of thyroid hormones. One is called as T3 hormones, another one is called as T4 hormones. This is how the mechanism takes place inside the colloidal form. And once these iodines are produced, once the hormones are T3 and T4 are produced, they are now move back to this. I'm writing directly T3 and T4. They move back into the cytoplasm, and from the cytoplasm they move with the help of this importer. Again they move into the bloodstream, T3 and T4, and from the bloodstream they move into the body. So this is how the total mechanism of formation of thyroid hormone takes place, that is thyroglobulin. From thyroglobulin, how iodine is being attached, and the main enzyme participating in the formation of this particular hormone is called as peroxidase or thyroperoxidase. So let's just brush up. As we know, this is the blood vessels present and these are the follicular cells present. Yes. So whatever iodine we take, about 20% of the iodide it is present. Whatever food in the food, whatever iodine we take, they move to the circulatory system and then to the bloodstream, and about 20% of iodide form, negatively charged forms, are being absorbed into the follicular cells, and these follicular cells are absorbed with the help of a importer, and this importer is a transporter that is called as iodide pump transporter, where sodium and iodine both are influx into the cytoplasm from the blood vessels, and this is an active process. Yes, got it. So and all this iodide are transported into the colloid through another transporter present to the inner part of this membrane, the cell membrane, that is called as pendrin. And this pendrin helps in importing this iodide into the colloidal state. And when the iodine imports into the colloidal form, here an enzyme present, this enzyme converts all the iodide to iodine form. Got it? And this enzyme is called as peroxidase. And this peroxidase enzymes normally converts all iodine to iodide form. When all the enzymes are converted to iodide form, the process is called as oxidation. What? Iodide is converted to iodine form by the help of the enzyme peroxidase. The process called as what? Oxidation. This is the first process, first mechanism of this hormone, that is called as peroxidase. Then what happens? Simultaneously we find that the cell nucleus of this follicular cell nucleus, with the help of its mRNA, it undergo translations and to produce, that is called as the polypeptide chain, that is called as thyroglobulin. And this thyroglobulin contains different types of amino acid, but most amino acid present, maximum amino acid present, is called as tyrosine. Got it? So this polypeptide chain, that is called as thyroglobulin, is in flux into the colloids, and inside the colloids this peroxidase enzyme then go for the second function. What? Now it helps in attachment of this iodine with the thyroxine. It helps in attachment of iodine with the amino acid tyrosines, and this attaching the amino acid this with the iodine, this process is called as what? Now it is called as organifications, means organifications of iodine. So iodine is organified with this inorganic part is added to the organic part of amino acids, and they produce what? That is called as MIT or DIT. Matlab, for example, suppose this is tyrosine. If one iodine is attached, so mono, and this is tyrosine. If two iodine is attached, it is called as di. So we find monoiodothyronine and diiodothyronine. Got it? So these two different forms of iodine produced by the process with the help of peroxidase is called as what? Organifications. Got it? So after organification, what happens? Now these peroxidase enzymes undergo the third function. The third function is called as coupling. So what is coupling? Now it fixes MIT with DIT. So when both are attached, mono and di, it produces T3 hormones. If both are di are attached, suppose this is a di present, if both are di are attached, then it will be a T4 hormones. So we find the peroxidase contains three basic functions. The first function that is called as oxidation process, where the iodides are converted to iodine. The second process is called organification, where iodide are attached to the tyrosine in the form of either one is attached to the tyrosine called as monoiodothyronine. If two iodines attached to one amino acid, it is called diiodothyronine. This is the second function. And the third function is called as the coupling function. In the coupling function, what happens? Now this MIT and DIT are being attached are being chemically bonded. And when the bond is present with two, they form a single compound that is called as T3, and that is called triiodothyronine. And this is called a DIT, that is called as T4, that is called as tetraiodothyronine. And both the hormones together is called as the thyroid hormone. So there are two different types of thyroid hormone. Now we find these thyroid hormones are produced inside the colloids. Got it? So all the thyroid hormones are produced inside the colloids. And after the production of thyroid hormone, they then moves back with the help of this transporter, they moves back into the cytoplasm of the follicular cells, and from the cytoplasm follicular cells, they with the help of this transporter, they again move back into the bloodstream, and from the bloodstream they moves into the body for metabolic activities. So this is how the mechanism of thyroxine hormone is being produced, or T3, T4 hormones are being produced. Okay, so in the next part, we'll study that what are the T3 hormones, what are the T4 hormones, how are they produced, and what are the metabolic activities, and what are the basic functions of them. Okay. Okay, let's start. So we have discussed that this iodine comes to, so we have discussed this iodide moves into the cell, got it? And this iodide is converted to iodine and moves into this colloidal part. Okay. Thing is that this nucleus, when it synthesizes mRNA, when it synthesizes called as mRNA, when the nucleus synthesizes mRNA, so these mRNA normally moves to ribosome, and from ribosome, the thyroglobulins are produced. So normally the thyroglobulins are produced. Now the question arises, whatever the thyroglobulins are produced, it is directly influx into the colloid or any process taken? Yes. Before entering into it, here what happens? We find the endoplasmic reticulums are present. The endoplasmic reticulums are present. Got it? So these colloids, they move into the endoplasmic reticulum and glycosolution takes place, and through the vesicles, they move to the Golgi bodies. They move to the Golgi body, and they are being refined, and these thyroglobulins, with the help of the vesicles, with these vesicular pockets, they move into the cells. They move into the cells. So these globulins, they move into the colloidal part of the cells through these vesicles. So these vesicles helps in import of this particular thyroglobulin, but it is refined and processed in endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi body. Got it? So directly it is not influx into the colloidal part. It is normally processed within first endoplasmic reticulum, then Golgi body, then moves into. And whenever T3 and T4 are produced with the same mechanism, with the help of vesicles, they move into it, and these vesicles then transport this T3, T4, and these vesicles move to this part, and from this they move into the bloodstream, T3 and T4. Got it? So by this process, the transport of T3 and T4 takes place from colloid to the cell, follicular cells, and then to the bloodstream. So these are the follicular cells. Some students ask that, sir, how the thyroglobulins are imported into the colloids and how the T3 and T4 exported. So by this mechanism, so I explain this because some of the students, they want to clarify that why this thing happens and how if iodide is influxed with the help of the transporter present here, and how come these vesicles and thyroglobulins are imported in influx and efflux. So by this mechanism, and Golgi body and endocrine reticulum helps in processing glycosylation of this particular thyroglobulin, or that is formation of this particular thyroglobulins into the colloidal cells. Okay. Now let's discuss about the types of hormones. So the thyroid hormones produced. The thyroid hormones are of two types. They are of two types. Normally, the thyroid hormones are of two types. Got it? So what? One is called as T3, which is 20% is secreted, less if, and T4, which is 80% is secreted. So it is less synthesized, and this is more synthesized. But this one is very effective, very effective, and this one is less effective. Got it? So this one is more, T3 is more effective, and T4 is less effective. So what happened when the T4, these hormones, they convert to T3 inside the tissue. Inside the tissue. Got it? So they are transported. The T4 is transported into, got it? The T4 is transported in the blood, and inside the tissue, it has been converted into T3 hormone, because T3 hormones are very effective and very active. Got it? And this T4 is also called as thyroxine hormone. It is also called as what? Thyroxine hormone. The T4 is otherwise called as thyroxine hormones. Got it? And T3, and it has been found that the ratio of T3 is to T4 is 1:14. So the ratio of T3 is to T4 is always 1:14 in ratio. Got it? So this is the composition of hormones, and normally the thyroxine hormone, that is a T4 hormone, is synthesized in ample amount, and 20% is T3, but T3 are very effective than T4 hormones. Got it? For example, suppose what happens? Suppose in the diet less iodine is present. For example, normal iodine in diet should be 200 milligram. Got it? But the tissue absorb about 120 milligram. Got it? So 200 milligram is the normal diet should be taken, and 120 is the average. And this 120 is used by follicular cells. Follicular cells, what? For the production of thyroid hormone. Got it? Clear? Suppose if less iodine is taken in the diet, then the follicular cells absorb more and more. They absorb more and more iodine from the blood. So the size of thyroid gland, what happens? Increase in size, causing the disease called simple goiter. Got it? So if less iodine is taken, got it, in your diet, then the follicular cells will absorb whatever the iodine present in the blood to maintain the metabolic activities. So as a result, what happened? By taking ample amount of this iodine, the size of the thyroid gland increases. So when the size of the thyroid gland increases, what happened? Now it increases the size of the thyroid gland, and this causes the disease that is called as what? Simple goiter. So simple goiter is caused by the swelling or by the increased size of the thyroid gland, and this happens due to less intake of iodine. And what less intake? If the iodine is taken less than 50 microgram. If it is taken less than 50 microgram, then only this disease will happen. Got it? Clear? So iodine is a must in our diet to produce this hormone that is called as T3 and T4 hormones. T4 is called as thyroxine hormone, and T3 is called as triiodothyronine hormone. But T3 is very effective than T4. Got it? Now we'll study about the function. So normally when we are going to deal with the function, what are the basic function of the thyroid gland? What are we going to discuss? First we'll discuss about the growth and development. Then we'll discuss about the metabolism. Then we'll discuss about its role of thyroxine hormone inside the blood, and the role in the maintenance of homeostasis in the body, and what is function or action on CNS, central nervous system, and about the basal metabolic rate. So the sixth function, will deal with the sixth function of thyroid gland. Let's discuss one by one. Okay, Now let's discuss about the function. So the first function, that is growth and development. So the first function, growth and development. So normally growth and development of sexual organs takes place. Growth and development of physical part takes place. And growth and development also mental part takes place. Physical part, we find growth on skeletal organs takes place. We find growth of muscles takes place. And also we find growth of visual organs takes place. And the hormone, that is thyroxine, this thyroxine hormone. This hormones normally helps in metamorphosis in the larva of tadpole. So this is a very important hormone that causes metamorphosis, that means conversion of larval stage to adult stage is called as what? Metamorphosis. So what do metamorphosis? That is conversion from larval stage to, that is called as adult stage, larval stage to adult stage. So this hormone induces metamorphosis normally in tadpole, and also it induces growth in all factors, that is physical factor, mental factor, and also sexual factor. Physically, it controls the growth of the skeleton, and also it controls the growth of the muscular parts, and also it controls the growth of the visual organs. So we have completed the first function, that is called as growth and development. Then we'll go to the second function, that is the basal metabolic rate. Got it? Clear? Okay, now let's discuss about the second function, that is called as the basal metabolic rate. So what does the basal metabolic rate means? It is the calorie consumption. It is the calorie consumption by the body for various metabolic activities, for life. Got it? So normally BMR is normally called as the calorie consumption. Main function is the calorie consumption. It means if BMR increases, then what happens? The body temperature also increase. The body temperature will also increase. If the body temperature increases, what happens? The weight loses. Got it? If the body temperature increases, then what happens? The weight also loses. So we lose in weight. Got it? So basal metabolic rate increases, then body temperature will increase, and the weight will lose. So here it means that normally what happens, we find that overproduction of body temperature will increase calorie consumption, will increase calorie, called calorie genesis. So it is called as what? Calorie genesis. Got it? So we find that when we increase the body temperature, definitely the calorie also increases, and the process called as calorie genesis. And this hormone is called as what? Caloriogenic hormone. So this hormone is called as caloriogenic hormone. Got it? Now again, next role, it increases the calorie consumption with increase in ATP, with increase in energy production. It also helps in increasing the energy production of your body. So this hormone also helps in increasing the BMR also helps. So simultaneously it increases the number of mitochondria. So if mitochondria is increased, definitely energy will be increased, and also it increases the sodium potassium ATPase. Got it? It increases the sodium potassium ATPase. It increases the number of production. It increases the energy production. It increases the heat production or calorie consumption in the body, and all these activities together is called as the basal metabolic rate. So when basal metabolic rate increases, body temperature increases, calorie increases, energy production increases, so catabolic process also increases. When breakdown process increases, the body loses. So we lose the weight and our body gets fine, and growth and development takes place, and all the energy is being consumed and used for various proper metabolic activities. Got it? So what is basal rate? So basal metabolic rate. So basal metabolic rate is the calorie consumption by the body for various metabolic activities to maintain life. If the basal metabolic rate increases, the body temperature will go on increasing and the person will lose its weight. Similarly, overproduction of body temperature will increase the calorie consumption and the process called as calorigenesis. Got it? And this hormone is simultaneously called as what? A calorigenic hormone due to these activities. Then we find that this increased calorie consumptions will increase the energy production in the body, and this energy production will increase the number of mitochondria in the body, and this number of mitochondria will also definitely increase the energy, definitely increase the calorie. And also the next function of BMR is that it increases the sodium potassium ATPase in the body, thereby maintaining import, export, symport, and depot, uniport. Got it? So this is about the second function of the hormone, that is the basal metabolic rate of the. Okay, move to the third function, that is called as metabolism. Metabolism. So what is metabolism? Anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism and catabolism. So what is anabolism? Synthesis, and catabolism is breakdown. So normally what happens, this particular hormone, it has three processes. That is fat metabolism. It undergoes fat metabolism. Also it undergoes, that is called as carbohydrate metabolism. Carbohydrate metabolism. And also it has protein metabolism. Protein metabolism. Protein metabolism. Got it clear? So fat metabolism, carbohydrate metabolism, and protein metabolism, all the metabolism is done by this particular hormones. But let's discuss. So normally in fat metabolism, so what happens in fat metabolism? So in fat metabolism, it causes breakdown of fats. It causes breakdown of fats, converting into cholesterol. So it increases the cholesterol level. In carbohydrate metabolism, it causes breakdown of sugar. It causes breakdown of sugar, and thereby it increases blood sugar level. It increases blood sugar level. So sometimes it is called as, sometimes we call them as what? Diabetogenic hormone. Diabetogenic hormone means it causes diabetes. But now let's talk about this protein metabolism. So when we discuss the protein metabolism, it causes both anabolism and also it causes what? Catabolism. It causes anabolism and catabolism. Got it? So both processes found in protein metabolism. But normally what happens, if the concentration of the hormone is more, then if the concentration of hormone is more, then it causes anabolism. Then it causes anabolism. Got it? So these are the metabolism done by this particular hormone, that is fat metabolism, carbohydrate metabolism, and protein metabolism. Got it? And in fat metabolism, what we find, it causes the breakdown of, in fat metabolism, it causes the breakdown of fats, and thereby the cholesterol level in the body do increases. In carbohydrate metabolism, it causes the breakdown of sugar, and when the breakdown of sugar takes place, so there is increased blood sugar level takes place, so that causes diabetes. So we sometimes call that as diabetogenic hormones. And in protein metabolism, we find both anabolism and catabolism takes place. Simultaneously both do takes place. And if the concentration of the hormone is maximum, is more, then protein anabolism takes place. Means protein synthesis takes place if the hormone is small. So there are three types of metabolism done by this particular hormone. So it's the third, and the vital function is a very important functions. Okay, now move on to the next other functions. First we'll move into the functions that is called CNS, central nervous system. So this hormone helps in the development and the maturation of brain and spinal cord. It helps in the proper maintenance, development, and the maturation of brain and spinal cord. In the blood, for the blood, it stimulates erythropoiesis inside the bone. So inside the bone, in the bone marrow, it causes erythropoiesis, and erythropoiesis is the process of blood formation. So it helps in formation of RBC in the blood. Second, it maintains water and electrolyte balance in the body. There is a major function. This hormone helps in maintaining the water balance and the electrolyte balance in the body. And in the gonads, in the sex organs of testes and in ovaries. So normally it regulates the proper menstrual cycles. So this hormone controls the menstrual cycle in female. So these are the basic functions that we all have discussed. So we have already discussed 3 functions. This is the 4th one, the 5th one, 6th one, and I have included the 7th one. But initially I told I'll discuss up to 6th, and this is the extra point I have just discussed. So this is all about the functions. Next we'll go to the regulation and then disorder. Okay, let's start about the regulation of the hormones. So normally the thyroxine hormone is controlled by the hypothalamus present in the diencephalon of the brain. So if hypothalamus normally send message to the anterior pituitary gland. So in the pituitary gland we have anterior lobe, the thyroid cells are present. So this hypothalamus send message to the thyroid cells present in the anterior pituitary gland, and this send message to the thyroid gland, and the thyroid gland send message to stimulate the follicular cells to stimulate the thyroxine hormone, and these thyroxine hormones then maintains the metabolic rate. Let's take an example. Suppose the releasing hormone, if increases, then the anterior pituitary gland starts releasing the stimulating hormone. So thyroid stimulating hormone is controlled by the releasing hormone. If this one is increased, then definitely TSH will be secreted from the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland, and this TSH will activate the thyroid gland or to induce the thyroid gland to secrete the TH hormone, or that is the thyroid hormone, that is T3 and T4 hormones. So once this hormone is secreted, if the hormone is secreted and it is maximum, for example, this hormone is increased maximum, then it sends a negative feedback to the thyroid cells to prevent the secretion of TSH, as in the blood the amount of thyroxine hormone increases. Got it? So the increased thyroxine hormone will decrease the role of anterior pituitary gland to decrease TSH. So TSH is decreased if thyroxine hormone is increased in the blood, and if thyroxine hormone is decreased in the blood, then TSH will increase. Got it? And also sometimes the thyroxine hormone is released if the body exposes to cold. So in the winter season, maximum thyroxine hormone is secreted so that it increases the body temperature, as we already discussed. So if BMR increases, the temperature will increase. So when we expose to cold, normally the body temperature regulated or increased by this action. And we have a negative feedback. Suppose somatostatin hormone increases in our body. If somatostatin or the growth hormone increases in our body, then it causes a negative feedback on this pituitary gland that not to secrete the thyroxine hormone, or not to secrete the stimulating hormone, which will induce the secretion of thyroxine hormone. And also sometimes what happens in some body, day and night rhythm, cyclic rhythm taking place in our body, and this cyclic diurnal and temperature and the nocturnal temperature also have some effect on pituitary gland to synthesize TSH, but this effect is not so effective than other. This one is very less effective, whereas this one is highly effective, and this total process is the regulation of thyroid hormone. So it is controlled from hypothalamus and is controlled by pituitary gland. That is releasing hormone and stimulating hormone. Both helps in controlling thyroid gland to increase. So increase thyroxine in the blood sugar, in the bloodstream will decrease TSH and will decrease the release of thyroxine hormone. Got it? So this is all about the regulation. So we have completed regulation, and last we'll discuss about the disorder of this thyroid gland. Okay, now we're going to discuss about the disorder. So in the disorder we have 2 types. One is called as hypothyroidism, another one is called as hyperthyroidism. In hypothyroidism we have 4 types of disorder. One is called as cretinism, another one is called as simple goiter and Hashimoto disease, and the last one is called as myxoedema. And in hypersecretion, in hyperthyroidism, we have exophthalmic goiter or Graves' disease and Plummer disease, or the cancer or the tumor of the tube, that is the thyroid gland. So we'll discuss one by one. First we'll discuss about the hypothyroidism, and then we'll discuss about the hyperthyroidism. Okay, let's discuss first about cretinism. So cretinism is the type of hypothyroidism disease. So in cretinism normally takes place, suppose a woman is pregnant, and when it is pregnant, if that particular female have decreased thyroxine hormone secretion in her body, then the baby so formed will be cretinism. So normally cretinism is a type of disease which is found mostly in infants. It is found in infants or child. Got it? So in cretinism what happens? Now there is a physical disorder as well as a sexual disorder, and also is a mental disorder. So 3 types of disorder are present in this particular disease that is called as cretinism. In physical disorder we find that it attacks the skeletal system, thereby it decreases the growth of the skeletons. So it makes the person dwarf, and the muscles become very weak, and the internal organs are not well developed. So in most of these cases of cretinism, we find pot belly structure is found. Means the body is very slim, the pigeon chest is thin, and whereas the stomach becomes pot-like structure, it's a pot belly structure. So these are the physical disorder. And the sexual disorder, we find that infertile sex organs are infertile, means the sex organs are not so well developed and no secondary sex characters are produced. And mostly these persons will become sterile. Got it? So these baby or these infants will become sterile because the sex organs are not well developed and well structured, and also the secondary sex characters are not so well developed. And going to the mental disorder, we find that idiocy present and imbecility present. Mental is very weak, intelligence power is very weak, and they are unable to judge, they are unable to analysis. So mental retardation, memory retardation is found to be present in this particular disease. So mostly cretinism, as we find in infants, and cretinism normally find in infants when the pregnant mother is deficiency of the disease. If the pregnant mother is deficiency of thyroxine, if the mother is deficient of thyroxine hormone or TH hormone, then this disease is found in her baby. Got it? So this is the first disease of called as, that is called as cretinism. Clear? Let's discuss the second disease, that is called as myxoedema. Got it? So this myxoedema is otherwise called as girl's disease. It is mostly found in adults. Not it is mostly found in adults. So what happens? We find a puffy appearance, means the body swells. Suppose the normal weight of the body starts swelling, increasing weight in the body. So why puffy appearance? Because we find deposition of fats takes place under the skin. Suppose this is the skin present. So below the skin, we find fats are deposited. So normally what happens? Suppose this is the skin present. Suppose this is the skin and subcutaneous. So below the skin, there is heavy deposits of fats. So when the fats are deposited, the body swells. So these are the fats deposit. And this particular area is called as the subcutaneous area. Subcutaneous area. So when the subcutaneous area, we find the fat deposit takes place. So the body swells. The body swells. And also we find without any cause, there is increase in weight. Without any cause, there is increase in weight. So this increase in weight in the body is the puffness. Got it? So when the puffness increases and the body weight increases, the metabolic rate becomes low. Got it? So the metabolic rate decreases. And when the metabolic rate decreases in this disease in adult, what we find? Lack of alertness. They becomes very lazy. Intelligence power decreases. Initiative action also decreases. Means secondary, they becomes very lazy like persons. And also we find what happens? Now the heartbeat slows down. The low body temperature also decreases, and the sexual characters and sexual development also decreases. So all these factors are found to present in this particular disease, that is called as myxoedema girls disease, and which is also due to hypothyroidism, that is decrease in weight, decrease in the thyroxine hormone. So the next disease we are going, that is called as simple goiter. So in simple goiter, so normally in simple goiter, what we find? Now that is the thyroid enlargement takes place. We find what? Now the thyroid gland enlarges, and it also leads to cretinism and myxoedema. It increases the size of the thyroid gland, as we have discussed earlier, because if we intake less amount of iodine, so when we take less amount of iodine, what happens? The follicular cells absorb maximum iodine from the blood and gets accumulated inside the follicular cells, and as a result, the follicular cell size increases. When the size increases, what happens? Now, the enlargement takes place, and this enlargement is called as simple goiter. And the simple goiter induces cretinism. It also induces myxoedema, as we have discussed. And normally it is found in hilly areas, because in hilly areas there is less iodine present in the food or in the diet. And this is also sometimes called as colloid goiter. It is also called as colloid goiter. This is the other name of this disease. And the last disease, that is called as Hashimoto disease. The Japanese scientists discovered this type of disease, that is called as Hashimoto disease. And the disease is the autoimmune disease, where what happens? Now the thyroid gland is destroyed or damaged by itself. Means its own immune system destroy the thyroid gland. And it is mostly found in old age if any surgery has taken place. So normally this Hashimoto disease is found in old age. If any person has gone for any surgery, so at that time the immune system balances and the autoimmune disease takes place, thereby destroying the thyroid glands. So this is about the hypothyroidism. Now let's talk about the hyperthyroidism. So when we are dealing with hyperthyroidism, so this hyperthyroidism disease is of two types. One is that is exophthalmic goiter, another one is called as Plummer's disease. So exophthalmic goiter means there is the enlargement of thyroid gland, means increase of thyroid gland. And when the thyroid gland increases, when the thyroxine increases in your body, hyper means increase. Hyper means increase. When the increase, what happens? Now the eyeball comes out from the eye orbit. So bulging of eyeball takes place. So protrusion of eyeball takes place. And increased BMR takes place. And when increased BMR takes place, temperature increases. When temperature increases, definitely the weight also loses. So all these conditions are found in the exophthalmic goiter or Graves' disease. And the next disease that is called as Plummer's disease. Plummer disease is called as a thyroid tumor. Means suppose this is the thyroid gland present. So in the thyroid gland we find small nodules or tumor-like structures are present, and these are called as nodules. So this tumor-like structure causes nodules will damage the thyroid gland. So it is a cancer of thyroid gland, or that is called as the Plummer's disease, a tumor disease called. So this is all about hyperthyroidism, and this is all about the disorder. So we have completed the disorder, and the last part, that is parafollicular cells. So next we'll discuss parafollicular cells, and as a result we'll complete, that is the thyroid gland. Okay, now we're going to discuss about the parafollicular cells. So as we have discussed earlier, the parafollicular cells are present here. Got it? So these are the parafollicular cells as we have discussed earlier. So these parafollicular cells or C cells are present in the stroma area of the thyroid gland. Got it? So these parafollicular cells or the C cells are found to be present in the stroma area of. So these are present here. So in the stroma region, in between or in the lining or in between the thyroid follicular cells or these follicular patches, in between the patches we'll find the parafollicular C cells are found to be present. Okay. So these C cells or the parafollicular cells, normally it is endocrine in origin. It is endocrine in origin. Got it? And it produces protein-based hormone. It produces protein hormone. It produces protein-based, not iodine-based, protein-based hormone, and it is called as calcitonin. Calcitonin. The hormone name is called as calcitonin, or we can call them thyroxine. Calcitonin means it maintains calcium balance in the body. It maintains calcium balance in the body. Normally, it maintains calcium balance in the body. It helps in formation of bone. It helps in development of bone. It helps in development of bone. Means calcium is deposited in bones. So when calcium is deposited in bones, the bones become very strong. Bones become very strong. It helps in bone formation. Thereby it decreases. Means it increases, and thereby what happens? It decreases calcium level in ECF, extracellular fluid. So whatever extra calcium is being produced, so the calcium is excreted out from the body. Means in the ECF, the level of calcium is always decreased. And this particular hormone contains antagonistic role with Collins hormone or Parath hormone. So calcitonin is antagonistic, mean opposite to Parath hormone or called as Collins hormone. We'll discuss later about this hormone. So got it. So Parath hormone or Collins hormone increases ECF. Thereby it removes the calcium from the bone. Whereas calcitonin deposit calcium in the bone. The calcitonin deposit calcium and Parath hormone removes calcium. So calcitonin deposit calcium in the bone and decreases the calcium level in the ECF. Whereas Parath hormone increases the calcium level in the ECF and decreases calcium in the bone. So this is all about your Parath hormone, which is present in the stroma region, that is in the follicular cells, near to the follicular cells and the peripheral layer of the follicular cells. So we have discussed about the thyroid gland, its physiology, its anatomy, its structure, its regulation, its mechanism, its disorder. Okay, hope you all enjoyed. Thank you.